What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 176 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone, brought to you by Celozo. And today we've got a great guest here, Chris. I'm really excited to dive into everything. We're just going to cover a lot of topics on this one. But joining us today is Adam Shaffer, the president of Omni-Channel Distribution. How's it going, Adam?
It's going great. Thanks for having me here.
Oh,
we are very exciting.
Yeah, and
talking to a bunch of Kansas City Chiefs fans. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, we traded places. You're down there in Miami.
Congratulations, guys. So yes.
Yeah. Well,
I'll keep the weather. You guys keep the team.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of hard to look at that background, that beautiful Miami weather. You're sitting outside.
You know what it is? It's the winter, and when I'm home, like our headquarters is in California, but when I'm here in Miami and home, to be outside, and this time of year is perfect. And then there's the complication of the kids come home from school.
Yes.
And it's gets a little noisy.
That's going to happen here at my house in about an hour. So yeah, it gets a little crazy when they come home for sure. But your kids might come home and play outside.
They might, but I know their mother has them on some regimen that it's nonstop activity, from Spanish to Polish to coding to martial arts. It's nonstop.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I were them. I say to them all the time, I want to be you. They have a great life, man. They don't get it.
That's nice.
So they're learning everything.
Everything, yes.
They may not see it now, but that will help them in the future.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope so. I don't, I think that if I was gone, they'd forget me in 15 minutes. So video games and all the rest are busy.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, kids are fun. I've got
that's the only reason I'm going. You have two kids. I have two girls, little girls.
Yeah, I've got two boys. There we go.
Well, gonna keep them away till they're 21.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, mine are getting close. My oldest is 15, so they're getting older. But
I hope I make it that long. Yeah, that'd be great.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's for sure. Well, let's dive into a little of your background for people that are listening and watching and don't know you, don't know Omni-Channel Distribution, but you've got a great story. I mean, you've done some amazing things. I mean, you've had two different companies achieve over $200 million in sales in e-commerce. That's wildly impressive. We'd love to hear what you got a few minutes here. Well, we'd love to hear just sort of what you were doing previous to e-commerce, how you decided to get in that space, and then just sort of the journey that you've been on.
Okay, so give me the hook if it goes on, but thank you for the opportunity to talk about that. Yeah. So first of all, I'm Adam Shaffer. I'm the president of Omni-Channel Distribution. Sorry, it's a very long name. I think if you say OCD, maybe it's easier, but I just don't have that URL. But it'd be nice maybe one day. Omni-Channel Distribution's focus is really helping brands grow and navigate the world of e-commerce, and most often Amazon Marketplace, and other marketplaces, because they are complicated, and it's an easy way to hurt your brand if you don't know what you're doing. And even if you know what you're doing, there's a lot of pieces and parts to the puzzle, and it's ever changing minute by minute in many cases. But with regard to myself, I've been in the industry. You mentioned 15-year-old kids. I mean, I should have like 30-year-old kids. I've been in the industry for 35 years. And you say, wow, that's a long time. But we started back in the early days of direct marketing cataloging, which became e-commerce. And we had one of the first e-commerce sites selling technology products. Dell selling their products, and my company selling other brands. And so I kind of grew up working with brands, and we had the largest e-commerce site at the time, and that was a very large business. But taking that discipline from old direct marketing to where you mail catalogs and you look at results weeks later, to being able to find out by minute by minute, really if something's working or not working. It's a lot of fun, and so that journey through helping brands and then navigating and helping them on e-commerce, whether it was direct to consumer, direct to business, which is a really important thing. The B2B, I don't think it's enough credit. It's a very large market, selling the commercial, and then ultimately getting to where we are today, which is really a quasi agency but a seller, helping brands sell on the marketplace. The companies we had were large, very large public companies, worked with big brands like Apple and Hewlett Packard. And again, a lot of that experience helps us with any brand in any category today. So, I don't want to bore you guys, but been doing it for a while. The most weird, fun thing was during a non-compete time, I did work for Maxim magazine. I don't know if you know that periodical,
Yeah.
but
Seen a few.
it was when, and it was when magazines were a bit more important, and so that was an interesting break, and it was really more like brand extensions, taking Maxim and moving it into other categories like TV, movies, music, hotels, and it was cool, unless you have a girlfriend that doesn't like you working for Maxim magazine. So a little weird history, but it's there. But right now, the company I was at was about a $2 billion company, and it might sound large, but because you sell technology products have a very low gross margin. So if you're not $2 billion, you're kind of nothing. The biggest are like $16 billion. And that company was acquired, and it gave me an opportunity to look at something different. And the manufacturers in our business that we worked with would say, "Hey, would you sell our products on Amazon?" And it's like, yes, we used to sell on Amazon, but we don't sell on Amazon. It's really hard for a public company to manage through their T's and C's and comply with everything. And when you talk to the Amazon legal, when you can talk to them, they would say, "Oh, don't worry about that. We never do that. We never go after you for that." And as a public company, you just can't do it. I mean, as a private company, I'd be scared to. And so we just shied away from it. But there was a need. Manufacturers would say, "Look, we're never going to do it, but we need your help because we have our brand to worry about. We don't want anybody selling products below MAP or minimum advertised price. And we trust you. Plus, if you violate MAP, we'll leverage our control in your other business and destroy you." So I'm like, oh my God. But it was many different manufacturers needed that help. So I realized that how do you help brands that are either selling to Amazon or not selling to Amazon and watching their brand suffer, navigate and manage? And that's kind of how we got to, or I got to the decision to say, this is a great business to be in. And I met up with a company that was around in California that was selling products through distribution, and they had a great Amazon business, but it was not brand centric. It was really just product centric. And so using my experience with manufacturers, started to bring in more. So right now, it's not a $2.2 billion business, but as an Amazon seller, we're about $70 million in 2021. We'll do about 100 million plus forecasted for 2022, and I'm hoping more with some of the pipeline we have. Where we have about 30 plus brands, and in some cases, a brand could be a product line of a brand that has many product lines, but it's about 30 plus brands, and about eight different categories, starting again with technology because we knew the people, and now in like health and beauty, home improvement, sports, and onward. But it's been interesting.
What journey. That's
Yeah.
it's impressive. What year, because you were doing the direct marketing for a while, you were doing what year did you start selling or start managing or anything with the?
It's a great question. Yeah, I mean, so probably we were probably one of the first sellers, not at this company, but at a previous company. I don't know if you ever heard of a company called Mac Mall or PC Mall. Okay, well, if you're an Apple user, you might. And so when the marketplace first opened, we were one of the first sellers on Amazon, and it was really not even FBA at the point. We were selling direct from our own warehouse. So we were probably one of the earliest adopters. And then later, I was running a company called Tiger Direct, which maybe you know it had retail stores, but it was much more internet centric. And we had a big presence on Amazon and on Walmart and on eBay. So again, one of the earlier players, and we had a sizable business there. Then when I moved to these other companies that were larger and the rules were a bit more defined at Amazon, it was really difficult for us to make that leap. And so that's why, I finally get to go back to what I love to do, and that is, working through the marketplaces.
You've mentioned a lot of electronics and like technology area. That's a scary spot to get in, just due to like customer returns. You may have malfunctions with the distribution. Where do you? I mean, that's a spot that not a lot of sellers go to just because of that sheer fear.
I'm glad in a way, but I mean, I agree. I mean, it's usually lower margin. It changes quick, but it's a big category. And, if it was cosmetics that I was working in all my life, I probably would have went there. It was just because I knew the brands, I knew the OEMs well because I worked with them for so many years, and there was trust already there. So it's kind of like that's where we began. But we sell nail polish and nail glue now. Like, so it doesn't matter, but technology definitely helps you in the sense of needing to be sharp and run a tight ship because, like you said, the returns could kill you.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt, and the margins are so thin too. What's changed? What have you seen as a big change? I know there's a lot moving on in Amazon. Dustin and I know this, you know this, but when you first started, what's changed over the years? What have you seen change?
Oh, I mean, Amazon's gotten much more sophisticated in general, and sometimes you know what changes and sometimes you don't. The penalties are much greater now than ever before, and the marketplace is bigger. But when we first started, it wasn't like, oh, they're going to throw you off the, and suspend. I didn't even know what suspending an ASIN was then. Like, it didn't happen, and there were definitely not as many private label players. It was more of a name brand game then. So I think it's really, really evolved into companies or brands needing to be incredibly good. And I don't care if you're the best outside of like an Apple and a Samsung or something like that. I mean, you could be anybody if you do it right, have great marketing, great copy, tell your story, priced right. There's a place for you to be a major player on Amazon, and it's really important. Look at so many categories with brands you might not even know. And we're not selling Igloo, but I think about Igloo coolers and some brand I don't know. But Igloo, we kind of were Coleman, somebody we grew up with. That's sitting next to this other one. The unknown one has got 5 stars, and Igloo's got 2.5 or 3 for whatever the reason. Maybe they're not managing their customer service right, or somebody, put something bad on there illicitly. Most people, unless they have to have that Coleman cooler, they're gonna buy the other one, and that doesn't normally happen in retail brick and mortar.
And that's what this brings me back to me launching my own e-commerce career I started in 2014, and it shows you the power. I mean, there's something amazing that Amazon did, especially when they really opened it up as a third-party seller marketplace. I kept telling like friends and family, I'm like, essentially what I'm doing is like I'm walking into Walmart with like my product and shoving it on the middle of the shelf, right in the middle of the store. Like, I'm able to do that like from my house. And it's really fascinating how that's possible. That's possible for brands. And the flip side's happening, because I want to touch on this, is you've got legacy brands that are really huge, really well known and really poorly represented on Amazon. And I think that they're coming around to it. but I'm sure that's what you're seeing a lot, and like brands that are coming to you, they're like, why are there 100 people selling our products with like a really crappy listing? And it's unbelievable that
It's like the Wild West for some of these folks, but you wouldn't see that again at brick and mortar in many cases. So, they have terms and conditions in place that work for them at retail most of the time. But the second a product is available, if they don't have an Amazon strategy, the Amazon strategy is going to be entrepreneurs are going to go out and sell their stuff and put really bad content and pour their stuff out to the lowest price. I mean, it happens too often, and it's a shame. And Amazon, it's fun to say, oh, that they're evil, they're cruel, but they give us this incredible marketplace to work. And so you got to say, thank you, Amazon, because if it wasn't for you, this is, I think it's close to maybe it's more now, $500 billion gross merchandise value marketplace, and so that's created opportunity for millions of people to make money. It's great, it's awesome, but you got to figure out how to play by their rules. That's hard, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. You're like, what? You mean Amazon can have the buy box and they're higher price than me, and my product can get there faster? Like, how does that work?
It's very true. I mean, it's kind of monopoly if you think about it. Okay, so 2020, pandemic, crazy time. Obviously, people saw crazy spikes in sales. Everybody was staying home, people buying stuff. But the big issue with sellers is the supply chain, getting products back in stock, and even just getting the orders, and then the increase of a what is it? I'm drawing a blank, but the case,
the
containers, yeah. Increase like containers. How are you managing all that? What happened there?
In some cases, first of all, it's there's the good and the bad. It's like, it sucks in general that it happened and continues to happen. It's not over. I think prices came down a little bit, but not completely to where they should be, and the timing is still not what we're used to. But there was where there was some pain, there was definitely opportunity. I mean, we really are pretty fast, and we were really good to get out there with brands that were suffering, that had some products available or coming in or just about to come in. But now imagine this: your product's about to hit Long Beach or LA or whatever the port is, and they've been waiting a while. It hits, and then it's still going to be from being unloaded and through customs or whatever they're going to do there, and then getting it up to Amazon FBA, whether you're 1P or 3P. I don't care. Maybe you're on the Amazon shuttle somewhere, but it could take another month, maybe more. With us, we are fortunate enough to have Seller Fulfill Prime, and so and that's a tough medallion to have, because it's getting harder and harder to be able to maintain it with the metrics that Amazon requires. But we have, and that's been really helpful, because the second we get our fingers on it, it's on Amazon and it's Prime. So that time to get up to Amazon is important, and we want to get it up there. But we kind of have this hybrid strategy where it hits our warehouse, it's on Amazon, it's Prime, and then we're shifting stuff up to FBA. When it gets to FBA, then we'll shift the rest up there. And that's been a huge advantage for us to be able to navigate pandemic. Was whatever the issue is, we'll be able to get it on the market faster.
Have you changed anything as far as like ordering? Like, in the past, it was like maybe order 60 days out. Is it more now? What's that looking like?
Yeah, no, that's another thing. I mean, you definitely have to add, you have to order more, and then, you also need to be fast, because once in a while, product will come in that's highly allocated, and you need to make sure that your POs are placed. You're talking to your partners all the time, or their suppliers, and you're doing everything to rush it in. So we help them. We have open POs with folks that we understand each other. If there's $10 million of stuff, don't ship it in one day. But you have that open, so the process is faster, and it's not like they have to wait for you to cut a new PO. We're kind of teed up already, so we try to make it easier for them. We try to make it easier for them to know that it's got a home already. Shift it to us. But guys, I mean, I think it's going to be like this, and it'll be in different areas. But there are definitely pockets where it's not a problem and products are flowing. But whatever it is, speed to us is everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, you brought up something with the seller fulfilled prime that I'd like to go down that rabbit hole a little bit more.
Uh-oh.
It's something that
well, it's tough to get.
It's tough to get, but also small e-commerce brands like the one I run and the one that Chris runs, FBA is what makes the whole thing operate well for us. We have that as the whole fulfillment structure built in. We don't have to do that personally ourselves. But during the pandemic, there was Amazon, it looked like, and you could tell more, they were shifting the priority a lot
Absolutely.
to people who were FBM, seller fulfilled prime. That was winning the buy box sometimes more than FBA, all dependent on like their internal logistics and how overwhelmed they were. So there's a strategy moving forward. I guess, I mean, it seems like Amazon, if the game used to be FBA is always the priority, it's always better. But there's an argument to be made now, I think, that having the ability to be seller fulfilled prime or have that, through another resource, another party to help you with that, it can be a good strategy moving forward.
It is. It's good. I don't know. I mean, is it always like the long-term play? I do think that there's a huge, huge, huge benefit to being, selling through FBA Prime. No doubt that the algorithms benefit you, but the freight rates are so cheap compared to what you would pay for you servicing Prime. So that is kind of the issue. It's great as a short-term band-aid until your products are at FBA. And if there's enough margin in the product, maybe it is you can control your lives more. But the freight rates, just as the weight goes up, it's shipping a boat anchor, if that's what you ship, the cost is to ship that 2-day and 1-day, hard to do, man. So so we really depend on them. So I love SFP because it helps you get in market and stay in market. Can you imagine you spend a fortune on advertising, you get your ranking number 10, 20, whatever the number is, and then you go dark on products, and then you got to start, relatively, again. And so you're just opening the door for your competitors. So staying in stock is so important. And, we have the cure for that, and that is keeping products in prime with SFP. And even when the product is small, it's great because it's a bit more affordable. But if it's something that has a low ASP too, and it's small, even if I could ship it 1-day and 2-day for $8, they could do it for $250.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge part. That might be the difference between the product or not, making money or not.
So there's a ton of competition now. Competition has grown over the years. People are starting brands. How do you compete with these big brands? What are some things like small private label sellers should be doing to compete with those big brands that have capital that can do the marketing? What are some areas you're seeing with some of the brands you work with that they're competing with these big ones?
So you're talking about like a big brand that people already know the name.
Yeah,
like,
household name. Like, how do you get into this? And somebody who's starting a brand, how are they able to compete with somebody like an Apple or Dell or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be the brands like Apple, like that's hard, man. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll get your kid the unknown name watch. That's not the Apple Watch, but I think when they go to school and get beaten up, they'll go back and say, "Mom, I need the Apple." So I think there is something to be said for a coveted brand. But I mean, but that's at the top. But now, like I said, when it comes to things like other products that you can really compare features and functionality, and people are learning a lot from Amazon, and they have higher reviews. Those reviews are everything. So if you're a private label brand and you're trying to compete, I mean, it's everything. So it's everything. It's everything could be better. And what's happening with the Thracios that are pulling all these private labels together, and what I think is amazing is that they're able to afford to bring some of the smartest people from all these different disciplines. And it's still got to be hard when you're doing 200 brands, but you know, you're taking real science now and bringing professional, you know, skills to everything, whether it's the brand protection. You might have the best legal on the planet that can help you, you know, navigate that better and threaten people better and blah, blah, blah. But on the advertising, the AI, and so it's hard for a small business to do it. And so I see that they got to up their game. Every single thing from the packaging, because it helps on when people open it. You know, I can't spend too much because that eats into my margin, but it helps prevent a return maybe because it looks more quality, or it helps people learn more about it when they get it. To the videos, to the photography's got to be perfect, to the copy, everything you can do to stand out. But of course, you know, the keyword, understanding how to find the right keywords with the limited budget you have, that's going to give you the most bang for your buck. Again, I think as a small proprietor, you still can do that, but you got guys that are, you know, using every trick in the book and every bit of science to figure it out. So I think it's tough, but what you see about, you know, people that own their own brand, that started their own brand, is they love it, they care about it, it's their baby. You know, if I sold 3 today, I might be happy, but their goal is to make it the greatest ever. So I think when you're passionate about something, that's when you kind of have that one up on the big guys. It's hard to beat the passion and the love of the products. So I don't know, like, you have like Kansas City Chiefs bobbleheads. Is that like what you're selling?
Yeah, no, yeah. I get it.
Right.
You make a good point. Like, you do have to be passionate about something. You can't just sell a widget or a garlic press and you don't care about it, right? You got to be involved in it, because that's going to help you elevate to pass these other brands that are just throwing their logo on something just to be part of the market. If you can speak to the crowd, it's good.
And being good at, you know, stuff that maybe they didn't have to worry about a few years ago, like social media or micro influencers. I mean, you got to pull at every stop to get a bit more traffic. And, you know, again, there are a lot of tools. Everybody's got the tools, but I mean, there's a lot of tools to use. Some people figure out how to use it better. Some people have different methods, but I do think there's plenty of room for, you know, maybe not every single category, but you know, my kids come back and like, this is not technology at all, but they'll want, I'm not going to even say LOL doll, because that might be something that, you know, the world wants, but something that doesn't have a brand name that anybody would know, but it's a thing. And it's like, it goes around their neck. It looks like a tattoo. It's plastic, or some squishy thing that they see. And they know it. Why? Because it's like on YouTube or something. They know the names of everything. And so they're dictating what to buy. So if you're a brand, you got to figure out where your audience is watching, using their time, and be in front of them. It's not just on Amazon. It's got to be elsewhere. You got to do off Amazon now.
Yeah, you definitely have to do off Amazon. And it's such a good point. I mean, you even tied in, like, it all goes together. Like, even your, like, redesigning your packaging to make it look better, make the experience of getting the product better. That even relates to social media. I mean, on TikTok, there's unboxing videos.
Unboxing, yeah.
Crazy. And it's a huge driver for sales. It's unbelievable.
And if you can't have that same experience at home, you piss. I mean, you guys have bought stuff and it's in a brown bag or something like that. And you're like, oh man, like, is this a counterfeit? Is this a knockoff? Like that, the second you get it, and I get bummed. It could be a cable even. I know it's weird, but it's like, what the hell, man? So I think you gotta think through it. You know, there's the, you know, how much does it cost? Who is my customer? They got to really care. But I think most people want to feel that it's a professional, you know, well-made product, and that's usually the start. But that's work, you know. That's it's, you got to think through it.
Oh yeah. Let's run down another rabbit hole, because you brought this up earlier when you were talking about your journey. But you were talking about B2B sales.
Yeah.
And the opportunity there. I think this would be a good conversation. It's something, you know, from our side, ours is through Amazon, direct to consumer, through Shopify, direct to consumer, not a lot of B2B. What are you seeing the opportunities there? What kind of B2B opportunities are there? I'd love to get your take on that.
I mean, I've done in my history more, consumer and commercial products or B2B products. And what I think it is that the manufacturers that are making B2B or commercial products for companies to use feel that Amazon is a consumer play, where really there's tons and tons of businesses buying on Amazon. Forget even Amazon Business, just in general, because it's just easy and the pricing is better. In fact, many of these these companies buy from retailers and distributors, and it's cheaper on Amazon. So they know the products. That's the product I want. I'm going to buy it. But now there's Amazon Business, which is 30 billion or plus, whatever it is, growing 100% maybe. I mean, it's off the charts growth, and more companies are connecting to that, and it's got incredible tools. But Amazon's giving companies that are qualified 30, 60, 90-day terms. Multiple people in their company could buy with different security levels. You could, if your company has a requirement to buy from minority owned or small businesses, there's a way to look that up and take a look and fulfill your quota there. So more and more tools are there. Theoretically, they think they're getting a discount. Maybe in some cases they are not, but it's an incredible place to get the transactional business. And transactional could be 1 to, I don't know, 20 or 30 units at a time. So if they're not there, some other brand will be there marketing to this huge audience that's only growing, and they're going to lose out. But worse is, almost always somebody wants their product, somebody else is putting it on the marketplace. So they've been so afraid to go on the Amazon marketplace because they're trying to protect their brand, make sure that their dealer network doesn't get upset with them. And I don't care if it's technology or plumbing supplies. Somebody's going to put the products on there and sell it below dealer pricing and put the wrong picture, say the wrong description, and it destroys their brand. So huge opportunity, growing market. And what happens is that transactional business they used to get from their retail dealer network is kind of shifting to Amazon. And what's left over is this, what they call project business, which is the bigger deals where they need a lot of service. And the fun part is the transactional stuff that nobody negotiates, really comes in, goes out. Low cost.
Dustin, you've had business.
Oh
buyers.
yeah, well So I started off, one of my initial brands was in fitness, so fitness equipment, and I would, out of nowhere, I would start getting these orders like 200 units, 700 units, 500 units, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, somebody's screwing with my account.
Somebody found a coupon, right?
Yeah, they're gonna return all these, or they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's a scammer, right? Yep.
I was like, oh man, turns out it was health clubs. They were buying my I guess it was the right product, the right price for them.
Oh, and it was easy.
And it was easy, and it was no shipping. I mean,
there's returns.
Yeah, if they want to return something, they can. I mean, it made it really easy. So I started really trying to figure out how to get in front of them a little bit more. And maybe you can touch on that also, like a seller on Amazon. How can they do? Is there anything they need to do special in their account to get in front?
Yeah, number one, first of all, that's amazing. I mean, that's what I think happens most of the time, is that you notice there's certain products you have that commercial companies are buying. Like, if you were selling the really super expensive Precore, these are thousands of dollars. You'll get end user business, but I think when you look, you'll see there's a lot of commercial business in there. So once you start to realize it's a commercial play, you should definitely make sure that you're marketing on the business portal, because there's two different prices. Like, like there's the consumer price, there's the B2B price. So if you don't have your pricing on the B2B price, and they're only searching in their B2B portal because they're not looking at the consumer play, you won't be there. There's also this story where I don't know if it's 100% true, but we've been told by the Amazon people that if you're not discounted 1% minimum below your consumer pricing, you won't show up on the B2B portal either. Now, I do believe like there's many businesses that have both and they're looking at both, but I'm sure there's a large percent also that aren't looking at the consumer. So first and foremost, be there. If it's 1%, I don't know. I mean, I would mess around with that and see if it matters or not, because I have some that it doesn't matter. And then also there's quantity discounts. So if you're looking for, and if you're, especially if you're shipping the products, it's definitely more efficient to ship 5 or 10 or 3 than 1, and it gets your, ASP or your average order up. So you can have quantity pricing in there. If you're a minority-owned company, if you're a small business, get the certificates and load it in the system. There's a place for that too. And that helps, because the larger companies that need to fulfill some quota, will look for those companies to buy from. So, it's kind of like understand, and there's definitely some references in Amazon to learn more about the B2B portal, but there's lots of advantages for companies there, especially if you're going to get terms. So, that's up to Amazon and the company, but be there. And what we find is that many commercial products don't want to do it. Water fountains for schools or public facilities. Maybe you would get it at a Granger. I don't even know the places you might get it, but it sells on Amazon. It sells really well. That's not me buying. I mean, those are schools buying it. Most schools are buying from Amazon. Most churches are buying from Amazon. Most communities, governments are buying from Amazon. So be there and have great content, and don't let others do it to you. Protect your brand, get brand registry.
That's an interesting idea, though, for product ideas to launch, is in those niches where these companies are not there or not doing a good job. You could come in and take that category for sure.
And we're working with, that's a niche that we go to, if you want to call it a niche. It's pretty big. And you try to explain to them, this is really what's going to happen if you don't do it, or this is what's happening right now, guys. And you'll see that they don't really have an Amazon strategy. Some do, but not the majority.
What is there any break that the seller gets from Amazon when they sell there? I mean, is there a difference in FBA fees if they're shipping 100 units instead of each one individually, or no?
There's zero. Like, other than you'll get more sales, so you'll pay them more, but they actually are pushing you hard to discount the products for the business community, so they can go back to the business community and say, hey, look, you can get lower prices. So there is an issue with that too, because although it's behind the firewall and the regular consumers don't see the pricing, if you have an agreement with a brand, or you're promising a brand and you committed to them, I will not violate MAP, minimum advertised price. You're not gonna do that on the business side either. So you got to be careful, because they will be pissed if you lower your price. But Amazon's not gonna give you a break. Like, that'd be cool. I remember once I tried to negotiate, hey, can we get a little lower on that computer category? It's so low. And great news is they increased it by 2%, a few months back. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Adam. We'll just increase it now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that is a little low. You're right. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about one more thing. Just because I want to get
just
your
one more. I want to talk about it all. I love this stuff, man.
I know, it's
fun
fun.
going.
I know. We're gonna have you back on. There's no question. There's
so just saying that, and then when you get off, you go, "Oh, that illusion."
Oh, no.
No.
You're coming back on.
Remember that bald guy? What a schmuck! I can't believe that. But
yeah, no, we like talking to you. We're gonna get you back on for sure. But let's talk about like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the big sales times during 2021. Was it different than previous holiday Q4 seasons, or the same? And how do we look? What do we see going forward with those? Are they going to continue to be?
It all comes down. I mean, I think people started buying earlier, but we still got the spikes. I mean, I think you could look at the charts for everybody. Everybody's still peaked. I don't know. Probably media likes to hype it. Many people started buying earlier, but most of that action happens around the time when the action happens. Our sales continue to be pretty strong, though, even after the holiday. So I do think that as more products might have been missing from being in stock to being in stock, people were buying. And I think also the more gift cards people buy, life is pretty cool afterwards. But it was a good holiday. I mean, I think what Amazon said, it was like, okay, it wasn't great, but for us it was just awesome. And it could be that we had the right products in stock at the right time. So if you didn't have the right products in stock at the right time, it was probably a really shitty, bad holiday. But we really were really fortunate on stocking up early. And I think the message to the selling community is, make sure you have that stuff here, man, because selling it afterwards, not much fun, although you still can sell it. But what happens is everybody's now getting their stuff, and it's going to make it even more competitive on your pricing. And it's also hard to sell gift wrap or something, if that's your thing, after the holiday's over. So tough one.
It was certainly a different Q4. With all the inventory restrictions and limits of sending in, I'm sure more people were out of stock this year than
there were on the things that you would want to buy. For my wife, it's cream cheese. We can't get cream cheese in the store. But I don't know. Have you tried to buy cream cheese? I'm probably the only one. But
no, you're right.
Weird. It's weird. Like, if she doesn't have that damn tempty cream cheese, the kids are going to be miserable. So if you have any in Kansas City, let me know, and we'll send you whatever we have. I think we have iguanas.
Yeah.
So sounds like a good arbitrage opportunity.
Yeah. Don't say arbitrage. Don't say that word. But I mean, that leads me to arbitrage. Leads me to another funny, interesting thing. There's a product that we went long on with a major audio manufacturer. It's been in the top 10, 12 with Amazon in called computer speakers for a long time, but they're audio speakers with the subwoofer. And the MAP price was $149, then it was $129, and a big seller. And Costco did a deal with that company and sold gajillions of them until they sold it way below price to bring in people to the stores. And so, so something that would sell on Amazon and Walmart for $129 is now $69 or $79 at Walmart. And we know that they're losing money on it, but they don't care, because did you ever go to a Costco and walk out with just speakers?
Right.
It's the other way around. So anyway, there's thousands of these, and everybody's upset because Walmart lowered its price, and now the arbitrage guys are going there every day and shipping it up to FBA, and it is everywhere at the lowest price of all time. So we work with the manufacturer to say, stop the madness, stop selling anymore. We'll buy them all. Oh my God, I'm scared, but we did. We bought them all because we believed in the product. We know it's a great product, but we got to clean out the channel. And so we really had to, as long as they were good about not putting any out there, we know there was enough velocity that it will take about a month or so, but it'll sell out. So every single day we watched it, and now it's off the charts and back to the 129, and it's great. But you got to have, that's a scary deal, but we did it, and now there's other great deals that we could do with that manufacturer. So that was an expensive way in, but we were able to show our stuff that we were willing to do that. And it's not like you could go throw all these arbitrage guys off. You can't. There's no brand protection in the world that's going to help you there. So anyway, unless it's like Apple and gated. But so that was interesting for us. That was we put our money where our mouths were.
It probably opens their eyes up to a whole new world of just arbitrage sellers. All they do is look for scams.
Well, no, but I mean, the arbitrage guys live at Costco and all these. They why not? Because they're going to either through the help of a manufacturer, but a lot of times they just do it themselves. They want a loss leader, and they're there with the scan. All the software, the Jungle Scouts and all this stuff have the scan to go to the stores and figure out, can I sell this on Amazon and make money? And so our job was like, how do we get rid of them all? They couldn't buy that many. There were 80,000 of these things. So eventually, so if you guys want, send me your address and you'll love it. The great news is they only weighed like 22 pounds. So that's fun.
Jeez.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to digress, but so what were we talking about? It was.
No, that's good stuff.
I don't know why I got this.
We're talking about Prime Day, but Chris, Chris,
but I mean,
like,
the holiday. I thought the holiday was great. I think Prime
yeah,
Day was great. Prime Day was for us, even though it was pushed into July, right? Was that what it was? July.
yeah,
It was great. It was great. Again, you gotta have the product to be in it, and that's the thing with Amazon. If you don't, and I'm still shocked when, we have things that are Prime, and somehow they put some date that's like 2 weeks away. It's like why? It's like, how's that? Isn't that Prime like 1 and 2 days? But if you don't have it, you can't sell it. And I think the thing is, if you have too much stuff, that's not good. If you have too little stuff, that's not good. And so we have, nobody's perfect, but we have a way to help with hybrid and shifting stuff up to Amazon. And I think when you can do that, you should do that. But it's crazy, scary game. And for small private labels, going back to that, how the hell do you grow and put money in your pocket when, if your business is growing and you have to buy more because it's 3 or 4 or 5 more weeks to come in and 2 or 3 or 4 more weeks to get up, I got to plan and pay for that now. And I'm not going to sell it for another month or whatever. How does it all work? And ultimately they go, okay, I can't take anymore. And that's why I think, the Thrasios and the Heydays and all these guys are able to clean up and do what they do. And they won't have that problem, but it is a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a great use of cash to have it just
Cash flow problem.
absolutely.
It
Well,
sucks.
let everybody out there who's listening right now, if they are interested, if how you help brands and how they can connect with you, start a conversation about your ability to help them navigate these issues.
So, hello, brands. We would love to be able to help you, whether you're a large established brand already selling 1P to Amazon, or you're trying to go it through selling on yourself through 3P, or you have multiple 3Ps selling your products whether you want or not. We'd love to help you. So large or small, we love to launch products too. We're really easy to work with. We're very creative. We do have 2 models, but there's variations. Obviously, we could be very creative with you, but there's a buy and sell where we do all the agency work and we buy the products from you and we sell them on Amazon, or we can even take over if you have a 3P store and manage that for you. But we could buy and sell, which is really pretty attractive to most. And then there's pure agency where we could do all the stuff that you need in almost any discipline that you need on Amazon or other marketplaces for a fee. Our company is called Omni-Channel Distribution. I again apologize for the length, but it's omnichanneldistribution.com or OCD. And my name is Adam Shaffer. And if there's any way maybe I can give you guys our URL so you could have it in your show notes or something like that, that would be awesome. And just so everybody knows, I mean, one of the tools we use, and we use a whole bunch, is Sellizo. And they didn't ask me to say this, but it's great. We use it for advertising, repricing, but we have so much that we sell that's map. We just, it's not needed for the map products, but it helps us watch others too. And so it's a great tool, and thank you guys for that, and keep on making it better and better. We love it.
We're trying. We appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on.
absolutely. Yeah. So thanks for the plug, Adam. Make sure that you guys go check out omnichanneldistribution.com. You can get connected with Adam there. Adam, it's been a blast having you on. Like I said, you've got a wealth of knowledge in this area. We'd love to continue these conversations in the future. It's good. It's good for everybody. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. You guys are awesome. And, I guess next winter, come down, we'll watch the Dolphins play the
Chiefs
Chiefs.
there. Yeah, hopefully.
I don't know if they ever do, but
I'm down to go to Miami.
Well, the winter's the time. Although summer we are air conditioning for baseball, so
there you go. Yeah,
we're just not very good. I mean,
yeah, it happens.
We know. We hear that too.
Know what that's like. Yeah, we've been through the ups and downs. So,
well, hopefully we'll get together soon, and I really, really appreciate the time. And again, this is fun. I'd love to do more of this.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you like content like this, make sure you're subscribing to this podcast. You can also find our live streams on Sellozo's Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube channels. So make sure you're going and subscribing to those. Also, like Adam said, if you need help with your advertising on Amazon, we'd love to help you out at Sellozo. You can go to sellozo.com. You can book a demo. you can talk with Chris or myself on that demo. We'll talk anything Amazon related, and we'll also show you the power of Sellozo's advertising optimization for you. So make sure, go to sellozo.com and book that demo. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.